Hey guys, welcome back to another live. Hope everyone is doing well. Good to see everyone. Jana, what's going on? Card Trick Academy, how is everyone doing? Welcome. Beautiful Saturday. Hope everyone is doing well. It has been a little while since I jumped on the live. Let me make sure we have some volume. All sounds good. Hopefully everyone can hear me. As usual, if you guys got any questions, going to be answering a bunch of questions in this live, so anything you got, drop it down below. Any moves you want to work on, anything you'd like me to talk about. But yeah, it's been a while since I did a live. I've been working on some, a lot of big things in the background, so I'll give you guys a little bit of insight into that in a minute. So I've been so busy, you know, I want to live stream every month of this year. That was one of my New Year's goals. So we did miss September, but this is going to be the 2-week late September live stream, and then we will do another one at the end of October to make up for it. So yeah, I'm glad to see everyone. I hope everyone's doing well. I actually took an 8-month break from Magic. I've been back at it again for the past 2 months, grinding on some table work. Very nice, very nice. Sometimes we need a break from the things we love, you know? Sometimes it's not a bad thing to take a break. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff has been going on in my life, my Magic world. A lot of exciting news, some cool stuff. I'll give some time for some people to join, and I'll just kind of give you guys some updates. Can you please show the perfect card to pocket using the auto index? Yeah, we can talk auto index once we go down to the card table for sure. Something I use a lot. So yeah, what's new? What's been going on? Well, I just got back last week from a lecture I did in Buffalo. So I did that for the IBM Ring 12 group. So that was a lot of fun. So I've been busy. I actually put together a new lecture. And so I was presenting a new lecture for them, and huge success. They really enjoyed it, and I had a great time as well. So that is my mental minimalism lecture. So these are the lecture notes. They are pretty extensive, a lot of great material in here. Mental minimalism is a lecture all about a couple of things, but mainly focused on mentalism, but there is still a lot of card work in there. It is focused on minimalism in mentalism, but taking things from the card magic world, because, you know, I was a card magician, and I still am. And so taking things from the card magic side and applying that to mentalism and a lot of the same techniques, but getting the most out of very minimal props. I mean, as you guys may or may not know, I talk about this a lot. My everyday carry is this, my billets, deck, Sharpie, and phone. And so that's what the lecture is all about. It's about combining card magic and mentalism principles together and really getting the most out of minimalism in mentalism and card magic. And there's a lot of theory, a lot of philosophies, a lot of great effects in there, and stuff. So if any of you guys are at a club or anything like that and you're interested in lecturing, reach out to me and I would be happy to discuss that. The mental minimalism lecture. Really good lecture, really great feedback on this one. A new lecture that I've put together, and so I've been super busy over the last several weeks getting that ready, putting the notes together, and I have virtual notes, video notes for that, and all kinds of stuff. So really been super busy with that, which is one of the reasons I didn't live stream in September. And yeah, so I got back from that lecture this past week. What else? Yeah, guys, so I see there's a couple of questions coming in, so keep dropping some questions if you guys have any, and I'll get to all those in a minute, just giving you guys a little update for now. Otherwise, I like to give you guys, at the beginning of the lives, an update on the upcoming videos. So tomorrow, well actually, before I say that, so over the summer, most of the summer, I think it was July and August, I did like a tutorial extravaganza is what I called it. So I did 8 tutorials in a row, which normally, I mean, if you guys are familiar with my channel, I do tutorials and theory videos and performances and performance breakdowns and mentalism theory, like all kinds of different videos, right? Different series, Mentalism 101, how to make your magic better, tutorials, give me a breakdown, all that kind of stuff. And so I kind of put those other series on pause just to do tutorials, just because I wanted to do it, see how it would be, and I know a lot of people love tutorials, so that is finished. That finished a few weeks ago. So we're back to kind of the regularly scheduled program. So tomorrow, 11 a.m., Mentalism 101 episode 12 drops. What is that one about? Honestly, at this point, I filmed it a while ago. I can't even remember. Let me look. Oh yes, incorporating magic and into mentalism. So it's a really, really great video, especially if you're into cards and you're interested in mentalism and that sort of thing. So it's a really good video. Then after that, the next week, we will have Dear Magicians episode 10. I will keep the topic of that one a surprise. Just know I got pretty passionate in that video. Then I'll be teaching you guys a really cool mentalism piece with a little mentalism envelope prediction style routine. Then we'll get the next performance breakdown. So it'll be part 2 of the last performance breakdown I put out. So a great little one. Then I'll be teaching you guys another little card effect. And yeah, so those are the next couple of videos that I have lined up. Hey, what's going on? What's going on? Saw your recent street magic video. It was amazing. Love your crowd control. It's quite astonishing, to be honest. Do you have any vids on how to improve your crowd control? Appreciate that. Lots more street magic. I'll get into that in a minute. I've been filming a ton of street magic. I've got like probably 6 videos, like at least filmed right now on street magic, like 6 more that are kind of ready to go. Crowd control, yeah, I appreciate that. I do spend a lot of time on crowd control. So I am planning on putting out a video, a performance breakdown of a compilation of all of the mess ups that I have, right? Because when I make a mistake, well, I don't really make mistakes because the audience doesn't know it's a mistake. I can't, like the last time I ever just said, oh, that didn't work, and just kind of ate it. I don't do that. I never do that. I always save everything that goes wrong, and things go wrong all the time. You know, probably in every street magic video you guys see on the channel, I could point out one effect that didn't go how I was planning it to go, or some moment that didn't go right. So I want to make a video compiling all of those, some footage that you haven't seen, some footage that maybe was cut, and so you can see the uncut performance, or you can see what happened at the end or what happened at the beginning. Sometimes maybe I'll just show the ending because the beginning didn't go very well, and show you guys how I segued out of it and how I saved it and that sort of stuff. So that is a video I'm planning. But for now, crowd control, I do have a couple of videos in my How to Make Your Magic Better series. I have one on audience management that I think would be very good. One on attention direction. So how to direct attention, right? Not misdirection, but directing an audience's attention. I believe I have a video on like approaching people and approaching audiences, which I think you might find useful. Can I ask a question on the bottom deal? Yeah, for sure. I usually, a little bit later in the live stream, I'll jump down to the card table and we'll go over all that kind of stuff. So if you have anything about card moves, drop all those and I'll come back and we'll get to them. What is your favorite Peter Turner effect? Oof. Midas Touch, maybe. Might be Midas Touch. I always really like Guess Who. I don't perform Guess Who as much anymore, but I still really like it. Star sign anagram, actually. I get a ton of mileage out of that. So I'd probably say Midas Touch, star sign, anagram, Guess Who. I really like his insurance effect. And if you guys saw my recent street magic video, I did a version of his insurance effect, but I did it with playing cards. I've completely kind of revamped it for playing cards, and I kind of almost like it better a little bit. It played really well. That was the one with the, if you saw the video came out last Sunday, the girl, and I showed her one card, and then I handed it to the spectator, and then another person picked a card, and then I went through this little script, and I sort of pseudo-hypnotized, but forced the girl who saw the original card to, I stole that thought from her head and replaced it with the card that the second girl picked. And then I asked her what the card she saw at the beginning was, and she was convinced that it was the other card that the girl picked, when they had the insurance policy, the proof the whole time, because they were holding the card that I actually showed her. So pretty cool little effect. But yeah, so that's what I would suggest in terms of working on your crowd control. Crowd control is super important. So we got a few more people in here, so welcome guys, welcome. You have any questions, drop them down below. I'm going to be answering a bunch of questions, then we'll get into the card table stuff. Got a couple of cool updates and some tricks I want to show you guys too. When's your next collab with Kevin Booth, and when is the next episode of your Magician vs. Magicians show? So that is the Sleight Off. The Sleight Off has been a really tough series to keep going. I really want to keep doing it, and I would love to do it consistently, but every time I find people to do it with and we agree, you know, either something goes down or people can only do 1 or 2 episodes, and I really, you know, the goal was for every series to be minimum 3, but ideally like 5 or even more episodes with each person. And the only one who, you know, was the original when me and Jorge used to do the Sleight Off in season 1. Season 2 was cut short. Season 3, I kind of knew would only be 1. I was hoping we could get another, you know, 2 or 3, and it just kind of hasn't materialized. You know, not for any reason. I'm very down to do it. I love the Sleight Off, and I'm always open to it. And then finding, you know, the person to do the next installment with has proven to be difficult. I don't know if people are just afraid, man. They see my sleight of hand and they don't want the smoke. And I'm kidding, but man, it's a little bit tricky, the Sleight Off, you know, coordinating, and everyone's got different schedules and different things they're interested in. And I do have a plan for season 4. I have an idea. I have someone in mind. We have been talking, and I am hoping we can get like a 3-episode season 4. I'm gonna keep it a secret, but it is a pretty you know, a pretty high level magician who I would love to do it with, and so we'll see if we can make that happen. So stay tuned for the Sleight Off. In terms of collabs with Kevin, I mean, I'm always open to collab, and so we'll see what the future holds. Who do you think are the top 3 magicians in the world? I think Jason is definitely the best card mechanic that has ever lived. Jason is incredible, but what you have to realize about Jason, and an interesting video if you guys are interested in a little bit of more what's going on in Jason's stuff, not necessarily how it works, but like just what you guys have to keep in mind is like Jason has done an amazing job on social media of manipulating not only laymen but magicians into, you know, being absolutely floored and fooled and just not thinking clearly, I guess, on what he does. And the common magician, Carl Irwin, who, you know, I quite enjoy his channel. It's very theoretical, and he makes stuff for, you know, more simple stuff for hobbyist magicians. That's what his channel's all about, but it's really, really insightful. And he kind of did a recent video, one of his recent ones, I don't know if it's the most recent, but it was a shorter video, I think, only like 8 to 10 minutes, if I remember, but he was just talking about how, like, you know, what Jason is doing, yes, there is a lot of sleight of hand and gambling work, but you have to understand that there's probably a lot of other stuff going on too, right? You know, don't exclude the possibilities of gimmicks or stacks or setups, and it's amazing how he's been able to incorporate that into magicians, right? Or into fooling magicians, I should say. And it's just really fascinating how, you know, I remember when I first came across Jason's stuff, it was one of his, he did like a self-working card trick, and he used to do these, and man, he got me so good that first one. And he was like, here's a cool self-working card trick, and he did this whole process, and it was amazing, and I just could not fathom, even if it was a math principle, how it would work. And I spent like 30 minutes trying to do it, and I could just never get it to work. And then you think you're the problem, and eventually it clicked. I'm like, he's just trolling. It wasn't, you know, it wasn't self-working at all. It was all sleight of hand. And so that just goes to show, right? That's kind of a lot of the stuff that I believe that he's doing, and it's just really brilliant. But my top living magicians, did you say living or just top magicians of top 3 in the world? So let's say living. I'm a big Danny Ortiz fan, you know, huge. I'm a big Peter Turner fan for sure. I mean, I've always loved Richard Turner, right? I think a lot of people do, especially card workers, just how flawless, his stuff is. I would say, I would argue Richard Turner's a better card mechanic than Jason, personally. And that's the thing, right? Jason, and Carl talks about this in his video, it's like, well, if you've ever seen Jason live, and I heard he's going to be coming to Toronto soon, and so I'm definitely going to go to that show, and maybe I'm totally wrong, but I've been doing this a long time. A lot of stuff I'm going to see live, I'm going to have a decent idea of what's going on, because the stuff for social media and the stuff for live is completely different, right? Even though he might say, oh, I do this at my live show. Well, to a layman, he does do the same thing at his live show, right? It'll feel the exact same, but the method will be different. And third favorite magician of all time? I don't know. That's tough, man. Leonard Green, always been a fan of. I'm gonna leave that third spot. I don't know. I have too many ideas to choose from. What is the best card control in your opinion, or your go-to control? It depends. Top control or bottom control. For me, the top control, I love the float switch, which I can show you quickly. So let's go a bit lower, actually. So the float switch, so I'll have the spectator select a card, they'll sign it, we'll place it on top of the deck like this, I'll take it into the middle of the deck, and it's controlled on top. I use that a lot. In bottom control, I usually, if they're just touching a card, I'll do this. They'll touch a card here, and I'll take it, push it into the middle, and it's on the bottom. If it's like a signed and selected card, I usually will do the straddle pass. And I'm not saying these are the best controls, these are just my favorites to use. So those are the controls that I use a lot. And then I'll use different cull controls. And I just put a video about a bunch of different cull controls, very simple. Stuff like the convincing control and that, but I've always liked this. 6 of diamonds, they leave it. I'll show it here one last time, and we'll push it into the middle, right? So those are some of my faves, control-wise, that I do. Victoria control, which I just put out a tutorial about. I'm a big fan of that too. Let's see if I can do it up here. So you take the 6 of hearts into the middle of the deck, and it gets controlled to the top. So those are some of my faves. Can you show your go-to card trick? Yes, once we get down to the card table, I will show that. Top 3 music artists. I'm a huge Future fan. I'm a big hip-hop guy, so Future, being from Canada, and I'm a big Drake fan. Number 3, who do I listen? Three changes all the time, man. I'd probably say Tory, to be honest. Love the Con Magician, didn't know you know him. Yes, Carl, it's great. Okay, can you say happy? Yeah, sure. Happy birthday, Dakota. And then, what table work? Jason Ledeni table work? I would say Gambling Sleight of Hand, Steve Forte. Don't remember how to say it, but a great book for that. Okay, so what else is going on? Yeah, I've been doing a lot of private lessons with you guys lately. There's been a ton of, a lot of different people. We've been working on lots of different stuff, the cull, putting routines together, getting some people ready to perform, and all kinds of moves. So if you guys are interested in private lessons, link in the description. Also, I got the Mentalism membership, which has been booming. We should have a new video coming out in a couple of days on there. Another fantastic effect. So if you guys are into mentalism, place to go is the Mentalism membership. We're breaking down Practical Mental Magic by Animan. And again, it's not just, if you have the Animan book, you don't have the Mentalism membership. It's completely different, a lot of the methods and plots and things, and really revamping a lot of these effects, because they're honestly not all that practical, some of them anymore. So, and also I have some, master classes on there, and you can learn the best ACAN of all, the tutorials on the membership, the J30 ACAN. Lots of great stuff on there. So if you guys are interested in mentalism, I have a One Ahead masterclass coming out on there soon, a billet work masterclass coming out soon, and just some of the fundamentals, some really great stuff. So if you guys are interested, you you can just tap the join button on the channel or link in the description. Check out the Mentalism membership. What else? Yeah, so I talked about the lecture. If there's a few more people in here, so yeah, I just wrapped up a lecture last week, my mental minimalism lecture. I was performing it for, try to get that out off the light. There we go. I was performing it for the IBM Ring 12 in Buffalo. Anyway, these are the lecture notes. Pretty extensive. Let's see, there we go. And yeah, if you guys have any clubs and you're interested in having me lecture, just reach out, let me know. It was a great lecture, fantastic. The focus of it is on minimalism and mentalism and how to use principles that we already know from card magic in mentalism. And huge success, really great feedback. It's a new lecture, so if anyone is interested, if there's any clubs out there interested, feel free to send me an email. What else? Okay, street magic. Yeah, I filmed a bunch of street magic over the past couple of weeks. I went to Ottawa, filmed some here in Toronto. You guys have seen 1 or 2 videos from the Toronto shoot, so there'll be 2 more from that shoot coming out still eventually. And yeah, just some really good stuff. I've also, one of the things I've been super busy with is I'm helping out with a release coming up soon, which is pretty exciting. I think it's coming up, I think it's Murphy's, but don't quote me on that. It's helping out David Jonathan, doing a lot of the live performances for him, and give him a couple of ideas, you know, too. And so a couple of my routine ideas should be on there. So it's a pretty cool effect. I'm not gonna reveal it or anything, but I've been working hard on that and getting some live performances for that, which you guys will see soon. Last I heard, release is gonna be in November. So that'll be pretty exciting. I'm gonna maybe show you guys one of the effects from that once we jump down to the card table. What else? I did something that I don't normally do. I don't really buy a lot of magic because I create a lot of magic, and very little magic fits my criteria because I'm such a minimalist, right? But I bought some magic. I actually bought a few $100s worth of magic, and pretty happy with it, honestly. Like I said, I don't buy a lot of magic, but first thing that I bought, I need a new wallet, and I was like, you know what? I never had a magic wallet before, so I did a bunch of research, and I did actually settle on a magic wallet. I went and picked up the Orphic wallet, and I haven't really used it in performance. I'm just using it, I'm going to cover my ID, but I'm just using it as a regular wallet right now. And honestly, it's great. It's very, very slim and minimal, which I love. Nice, high quality leather and all that. And then the magic things. I mean, you can do card to pocket, billet peak, which I really, really love the billet peak, and then the switch, because there's like a Himber wallet built in, right, on both sides. And so, you know, obviously, if these look the same, I have different cards in there right now, but you could basically take it and show both sides and end up doing a switch. So Orphic wallet, I mean, I've heard really good things about it, and so far I'm happy with it. I haven't really used it much in performance, but really nice wallet. So that's one thing. That's from the 1914. I got that. I also picked up their billets, because I've heard nothing but good things from the 1914 billets, and I really like them. I think they're made on basically cardstock, but they're not blank cards. They're still like billet size. So they're really nice, thick stock, but they handle exactly like cards, and I love that. So 1914 billets, you know, pricier than the cheap billets I get on Amazon, but I think you get 500 or something, a big box, and they're really, really nice. So highly recommend the 1914 billets. I picked up those, pretty sweet. And then I finally pulled the trigger on this. I've been thinking about this for a while. This is the PK Mentalism Peter Turner pocketbook. So it is a, how many page? 300 page? 250. So 250 page, all about PK touch style effects. A bunch of different people have contributed. You can see there Pete Turner, Louis Laval, Colin McLeod, Matt Mello, all kinds of people. And yeah, I got this from Illusionist. No, Penguin. I think it's through Illusionist, but I think I picked up this one actually at Penguin. So I've read, what have I read? I read over Midas Touch, which again I do all the time, so I already know it, but I just wanted to see if there's much new on it. And then I read over a couple of the other Peter Turner effects at the start. And I think I read most of the Pete stuff, but honestly I need a refresher because it was a few weeks ago. But so far, great book. I'm not going to give my review yet, but I'm very excited to keep diving into this little pocket book. I like it, nice and small, you know, minimal, great. Yeah, that's some of the stuff. There's one other thing I picked up, which you guys may or may not have seen. It is this little guy here. This is called SC2KR, yep. It's called, which stands for Sign Card to Keyring. And honestly, I never really do, the only impossible location type stuff I do is like angle Z. But, you know, I've never wanted like, oh, mint box or any of the things that you have to carry separately. But I do have my keys on me, so when I saw this, I was like, you know what? High quality leather, fits right on my keys, pretty small. I mean, it's, you know, it's big relative to my keys were, you know, like this before. But I don't have too much on my keys. And so this is pretty cool. Again, I haven't got a performance of it yet because I just got it recently, but next time I shoot, and actually I did go out to shoot, and I was planning to get some with it and try it out, but I forgot it at home. Because I'm such a minimalist, I forgot to pack the props, right? Obviously, because I never need to bring anything with me. So I guess I did. You're probably like, well, you didn't have your keys on you? No, I had my keys. I was in Ottawa, so I had my keys. I didn't need my keys, my Toronto keys, right, to get in the front door here. So I left those at the house in Ottawa to go out and shoot. Anyway, but this is really cool. So the routine that I'm planning to do with this, let's jump down to the card table now. So if you guys have any card table specific stuff, let me know. All right, actually I'm gonna turn this a little bit. Okay, so the routine that I kind of envision doing with this is essentially having a card signed or actually no, I'd start like this. And again, hopefully soon you guys will see a performance of these, but basically I would take this, right, they can see it's empty, and I would have a spectator hold out their hand and I'd place it in their hand like this, okay? So they'll be holding on to it like this. They saw this empty thing, so imagine they're holding on to that, and that kind of flashed a little bit, but it's okay. They'd be holding it like this, so they're holding on to that. And then I would have a card picked, and I don't feel like folding a card, so let's say they select the Joker, because I have that set up already over here. So let's say they select a Joker. Let me actually do it like this. Okay, so, you know, they can pick any card they want, but let's say this case, just because I have it already set up, they pick a Joker. Do I have a Sharpie? I do. They can come here and they can sign the Joker or whatever card they pick, right? Obviously it wouldn't be bent like this at this point. This Joker can get controlled to the top, right? You can do another effect with it or something. I was thinking card to pocket or some kind of transposition effect or anything like that. And then of course I'm gonna, that's backwards. Then of course I'll Mercury fold the card. I'll set the deck down, and I'll say, you've been holding on to this the entire time. Why don't you flip it over? And this happens all in their hand, and they flip it over, and they see there's a card has appeared inside of it. And now I come here, I take it out. Flash a little bit on camera, bad angle, but anyway. And then we open it up, and it is their signed card. So I really like that as an effect. This thing is pretty neat. You know, pretty awesome. And it's just a small little switch utility device. So pretty cool. SC2KR by Grum. G-R-U-M. So yeah, that's some of the new stuff I picked up. Pretty sweet. Let's see, some people had some questions, so let's jump to that. If you guys have any card table specific stuff you'd like to talk about, let me know. I recently did, my last tutorial was on this control here, the Victoria control. That was kind of sloppy, but you take a selected card, put it in the middle of the deck, and it gets controlled to the top. So if you'd like to learn that, most recent video on the, no, actually second most recent video, because I put out a Street Magic video last week. So, what are some of the questions? There's some about the auto index. So let's talk auto index. Perfect card to pocket using the auto index. So I would say there's two ways to do the card to pocket with the auto index. And my favorite, I think, would be the impromptu signed card way. But you could also do it another way with a duplicate. So the duplicate version, which is not as good, let's start with the better version. So the better version, they can freely select any card, right? So they come through, they can take out any card. Let's say it's the 9 of hearts, just because that one's already been signed by someone from the shoot I did earlier. So that card gets signed, okay? Now what you can do is you can hand the deck to the spectator and have them push the card in the deck and shuffle it, which is really cool, right? That's a moment that you don't get with a lot of card to pocket type stuff. You have to put the card away so you control it, but because we're using the auto index, we don't need to control it. So the cards get shuffled, right? The spectator can mix them as much as they want. And then as they're doing that, you would basically say, you know, I'm gonna make your card vanish from the deck, watch. And they're holding it and you snap and you say, look, and you take the cards back and you say, look, I wanna show you, there's no 9 of hearts here, you know, no 9 of hearts here, no 9 of hearts here, none here, none here, none here, none here, none here. And you can keep your eye, look, there's none, no 9 of hearts at all, right? And then you can close up the pack like this and you could go through again at a second point, but what I like to do here is I'll hand them out the deck and I'll let them go through and they can see and look and take, you know, take your time. You can scan through, there's no 9 of hearts, but if you come down into the pocket, of course, the signed 9 of hearts is there. So that is how I have done card to pocket with the auto index. Really like it. And the vanish is super nice, plus it's signed card. So the way to do it, I'll explain that in a second, but the way to do it with a duplicate without the palm would be just have the duplicate in the pocket, force the duplicate, and then I think, again, the benefit of the card to pocket is that, or with the auto index, is that they can put the card back themselves and shuffle the cards instantly, and you can have it vanish in their hands, right? So you snap, and you can have it vanish in their hands, and that's the benefit of using the auto index. In this case, obviously it has to be a force and you don't get a signed card, but then you don't have to do a palm. I personally think this one's better. Obviously the other way is better when you can do any card. You could even have them think of a card, right? If you don't want to do the signature, you could say, look through the cards, I just want you to think of one, okay? Think of one, they'll think of one, and then they shuffle. All right, now you take the cards back and you say, for the first time, what's the card you're thinking of? If they say Jack of Hearts, now you turn and you say, look, no Jack of Hearts here, no Jack of Hearts here, no Jack of Hearts here, no Jack of Hearts here. Here's the Jack of Diamonds, no Jack of Hearts, none here, none here. All right, and then you can go through, okay? And again, you can slow down again. You can go through, show, really, if you wanted to, that there's absolutely no Jack of Hearts. All right, and now you could either do a gambler's cop, because in the auto index you'll have controlled it to the top, or you can turn the deck over and say, I know what you're thinking. You probably think I did something here. You take a look. Take a look. And then you come to the pocket and you reveal the Jack of Hearts. So how this works is with the auto index. So, hey David, thank you very much. So if you guys don't know the auto index, it's essentially a way to, there's two ways. You can either get any card in your control almost instantly. So way number one, you can have any card named. So let's say they say the 3 of diamonds. You could say, okay, 3 of diamonds. And you could have named any one of these cards, right? And that's truly from a shuffled deck, any card named. And you can get the 3 of diamonds in your control. So that's one. And the idea of the auto index is to use the deck in play as an index. So get any card named instantly into your possession from a genuinely shuffled deck by the spectator. So I have made 2 videos on the auto index. It's OTO index. One explaining how to do it to gain control of a card, and one explaining how to use it as a vanish. So the vanish, same thing. It's from a shuffled deck. You can make any one of these cards feel like it's vanished. And what you're doing essentially, and again, go check out the tutorial for more detail, but essentially you spread your eyes are looking at this top left corner, because when you spread a deck, the spectators are looking here. So if you look over here, you have a bit of a head start. And now if you combine that with this slight rocking motion, it's going to make the cards hard to see, so they're going to not be able to see them as clearly as you, because as you bring it up, as you spread and then you come back up, the cards kind of get out of view for a split second. That gives you enough time to spot the card you want to vanish. So if I see Jack of Clubs, I spot it, and then as I come down, I just hide it, right? I hide it under the card next to it, and then I have all the time in the world to cull it underneath and move it to the top. So at regular speed, if I wanted to make the Jack of Hearts vanish, right? I genuinely don't know where it is, but I'll go like this. Look, you can see there's no Jack of Hearts here, and you can pause at this moment if you want, because I've already looked at all these cards by scanning as I'm spreading. I'm looking up here, and as I'm spreading, I'm looking for the Jack of Hearts, and if I don't see it, then I come into view. So I go like this. No Jack of Hearts here. No Jack of Hearts. Did I miss it? No. Okay, I thought I saw it there for a second. No Jack of Hearts here. No Jack of Hearts here. No Jack of Hearts here. No Jack of Hearts. Yeah, I think I did miss it. Hold on. Okay, so no Jack of Hearts here. No Jack of Hearts here. No Jack of Hearts here. And I did spot it that time, and I just culled it, right? So again, I'm going through. No Jack of Hearts here. No Jack of Hearts here. And here I just spot it. So as I come up, I get it into the cull, and I can say no Jack of Hearts here, and then stay in view for the rest of it, all the way till the moment I show the last card. But the Jack of Hearts is actually here. And now you gain control. So in the card to pocket context, you could go through, say, think of a card, right? So let's say they think of the Jack of Hearts, and now this is in their hands. So they spread the deck, they think of a card, and then they shuffle it. So you either do it that way, or you have them pick a card and sign it, and then they can put it back in the deck and shuffle, but I like the thought of card. So they shuffle, and you say, you take the deck back, and you say, whatever card you're thinking of, I'm going to make vanish just like that. And you say for the first time, what's the card you're thinking of? They'll say Jack of Hearts, and you say, look, seriously, look, there's no Jack of Hearts here, none here, none here, none here, none here, none here. You can go through the entire deck. You can really slow down. There's a Jack of Diamonds, but they'll see there's absolutely no Jack of Hearts, right? And it could have been any card from a genuinely shuffled deck by the spectator. Now you say, now what I would do is probably do a Gambler's Cop off the bottom while it's still here, but if you prefer the top palm, you can flip the deck over and you say, you know what, you probably think I did some kind of sleight of hand, so here, hold your hand out for me. And as they hold out their hand, I'll do a top palm, set the card, the deck in their hand. I'll say, look, one more time, check for that Jack of Hearts. They can look through, and then I can either load it and come back to it later, or do the load and pull it out all in one motion, right? So that is my go-to card to pocket with the auto index. Okay, so any other card questions, guys? I have a couple here, so I'm going to get to those now. But if you guys have anything you'd like me to help you out with card related, let me know. What else do you do after the auto index? It really depends on the routine. It's hard to say. Okay, what else do we have? Question on the bottom deal. We talked about my favorite controls. Go-to card trick, I will show that in a second. Okay, I've been practicing recently and have... Oh, sorry. Hi, I'm 29. Is it too late to still perform magic to people? I feel like I've wasted many years not performing. No, absolutely not. I mean, I'm 25 and I've been performing magic for a while, but it's never too late. There are tons of people who are way older, double your age, that still perform, and it's never too late. Just, you know, continue to practice, continue to get better, get more comfortable. Start with a small group of people and then build from there, and you'll get a lot more comfortable performing, right? That's the key. Okay, I'm practicing recently the bottom deal and have had deck slip issues, both horizontal and vertical slip. Horizontal when I have more cards, and the vertical slip out the back of my palm with small packets. Okay, so in my bottom deal video, I do mention to practice with small packets, because then you'll have less of a problem holding these cards in the grip that you need. Now, it depends on the bottom deal that you do. I do the Spock bottom deal there, right, where I'm pulling off a card with these fingers like this. Some people do the strike bottom deal where they just come in and they just pull the card right off. Some people do the Erdenes bottom deal where you kind of curl up this finger underneath and you use it to push out a card. So either way, the main point of contact is going to be here and one of your fingers, and that's going to need to be able to hold the entire deck, and that's going to prevent any slip. Now, this is obviously easier with less cards, but you really need to build up a good grip between the middle finger and here so that you can, have full control of these cards, because every other finger besides maybe the index is pretty much moving. The thumb moves, and then these fingers down here move to get that bottom deal, right? So with a small packet, if your cards are falling back, I'm assuming it's because you don't have this corner jammed into your palm here. It's probably just on the side, so when you start dealing, the cards are doing that, right? They're falling back. So instead of having it straight like this, rotate it so that the corner is going in, right into the hand here, and the middle finger, or index, depending on your grip. If your grip's like this, it would be index, right? But that needs to be able to grip everything, and that's going to prevent the slip. Okay? Now, whatever method you use, you're going to go do it from there. So with that said, when you add more cards, I agree, you have a bit more grip preventing it from falling back, but now it's a lot harder for the cards not to fall this way, right? And even still, I'm going to lose a couple of cards here off the top, but I still have that grip. Most of the cards I have gripped between just these 2 points of contact, right? I might not have the top one or the top few, but you have most of the cards, so now pretty much they're not going anywhere. So now when all my other fingers are moving, which they will have to be for the bottom deal, I have freedom to move them, okay? So that's key. Work on it with a smaller packet, and for the vertical slip, have it on an angle. Then when you get to a bigger packet, the full deck, you need to make sure that this finger or the index, whichever one is applying your pressure at the top. So if you just have the index, it's going to be extremely hard to hold these cards in place, right? Because the deck, it's kind of at an angle, so if I try to turn, they're just going to fall. Because what's happening is the force is pushing along a line from your index finger, and it goes straight. So it comes back here. Whereas if the middle finger is pushing, it pushes it across back into this part of your palm. And that, now you have, equilibrium in the forces, and you can do this. So that's key. Make sure that you have, something bracing the deck. If you don't want your middle finger on the corner, you can do like this, and you can have these two fingers creating like a wedge where they're pushing back each in like a Y direction, and that force is going to meet up and come back to this corner, and everything will stay. And now, depending on your method of bottom deal, whether you're doing an Erdenes or the Spock or just a strike, you now have a good grip that you can come in and remove that bottom card, right? So hopefully that kind of helps and allows you to, get your bottom deal a bit better, because the bottom deal is not an easy move. It takes a lot of practice, but attainable for sure. Okay, let me perform a couple of things. So my go-to card effect, I have a couple. I love doing Kjosta Kimlat's Unshuffling the Colors and Triumph. Those are like my two main openers. I also do like a Transpo, I do a lot. If you guys have anything else at the card table you'd like to see me work on or get help with, let me know. I can cover all that. But in the meantime, let me show you, okay, so you asked to see one of my openers, or one of my go-tos. So, especially with magicians, I usually do the Triumph, because they get a kick and appreciation out of it. So, basically I do this. I'll have a bunch of magicians, and I did this. This isn't in my lecture, my mental minimalism lecture, but I did do this at the lecture because, you know, just to give the magicians a kick. They always like it. So you get this kind of great display here, all the cards mixed, face up and face down. And now you can see there's face down cards, face up, face down, face up, face up, face up, right? Just a whole mess of cards, okay? And of course, I want them to remember that image, that mix, right? All those cards, all different directions. Now, they can come in, the spectator can choose literally any card. It could be face up, it could be face down, really doesn't matter. Let's say they go for, wouldn't you know, the Jack of Hearts, right? Out of all of these choices they could have had. Okay, so they can look at the Jack of Hearts. I will fan these cards, right? Get a nice display. Again, you can see that mix, face up, face down, face up, face down. We can take the Jack, set it maybe somewhere down here. Now, the only reason you can see the Jack is because I leave it sticking out, right? Amongst all the chaos, all the face ups, there's a big chunk of face down, but face up, face down. The only reason you can see it is because it's sticking out until the last moment I push it in. So now we have this huge chaos, right? You got cards face down, you got cards face up, all kinds of a mess. And all I need to do, the only thing I need to do now, your card might be face up like these ones, it might be face down like these ones. I'm not sure, but if they put their hand over top, you know, we can spread and all the cards get fixed. Except for one, the Jack of Hearts, right? So that's my go-to, right? That's one of my openers. Hey, Shahud, how are you? Good to see you in here. So what else? Yeah, so that's one of my openers that I do a lot. I also lately have been opening a lot with another one that really gets magicians a lot of the time, the cerebral sandwich, if you guys have seen that. So I'll hand the cards out, they can throw one card in and another card in wherever they'd like. And I haven't taught either of these effects, by the way, so if you want to learn, private lesson's the way to learn. So they do that, and then they can shuffle the cards, right? Well, first usually I go through and I say, let's just see where you put those aces. So there's one ace somewhere near the top or near the middle and some near the bottom, right? Now they can shuffle this genuinely. They can shuffle this as much as they want, right? This is a genuine, the spectator doing all the shuffling. I snap my fingers when they hand the deck back, and we spread it, and they find that the aces miraculously have sandwiched just one card, right? And now while they were shuffling, and again, that's genuinely them shuffling, while they're shuffling, I would say, what card, or I'd have them think of a card. Not one of the aces, but they'd think of a card. So let's say, in this case, they thought of the Jack of Hearts. So I would say, look, and this would be set off to the side, and I'd say, look, we can take a look. There's no Jack of Hearts here, no Jack of Hearts here. How crazy would it be? You shuffled one card in between the aces. Let's look. You said the Jack of Hearts, and we'd look through, and we would see absolutely no Jack of Hearts. And over here, of course, there was one card that was in between the aces from the start, and it was the Jack of Hearts, right? So that's the effect. I do that all the time. Those are some of my few openers that I do. One thing I want to show you guys, if I can get a little hand here, I am going to, let's do this. So this is a pretty cool effect. Let me show you. Okay, I'm going to make a prediction. So I want someone to name, okay, I'm going to set this down. Yeah, let's do that. I want someone to name a card. Someone name a card, okay? I'm going to set down a prediction. I want someone to name a card. Okay. While I wait for someone to name a card, let me see if I have any other questions coming in. Someone name a card. The first card that I see is what we'll go with. If you want to show off or be flat, okay, 7 of diamonds. So 7 of diamonds. So, how crazy would it be if that card was the 7 of diamonds? Right, I'm going to leave it there. Could have been any card. Could have said any card. So let's take a look. So right here, no 7 of diamonds is the 8 of diamonds. No 7 of diamonds here. There's 7 of clubs. No 7 of diamonds here. No 7 of diamonds here. No 7 of diamonds here. None here. None here. None here. Was that the 7? No, it was a 7 of hearts, I think. No 7 of diamonds. So how crazy would that be if that card there was the 7 of diamonds? It would have been good, right? It would have been good. Would have been a great trick, but I'm not quite that good. But I did say this was a prediction, right? I didn't say it was your card. I said it was a prediction. Now let's see if you notice something interesting about this card. Now, no, I'm not talking about the signature. Look right in the center of the card. What do you notice? Right around here. There's a QR code. Right. There's a QR code, exactly. So here's what I want to try. Let's do, I'm going to open up my camera. Try like this, hold on. Come on. Sometimes it's a little tricky. There we go. And just like that, the 7 of diamonds, right? It's pretty weird. I know, it's pretty freaking weird, right? And what's interesting is if we take that Jack of diamonds and kind of set it right on top, right? If we set it right on top, it looks like it's gone, right? The Jack of diamonds looks like it's gone. So if I just take my finger and I start to rub, and I rub like this, you'll actually see the cards start to vanish, and it becomes that 7 of diamonds. So that is I had some issues with the camera. I don't know, my phone, I think I have it on the wireless charger here, and I think it overheated because it just froze on me. But anyway, that is a cool little effect. So that is not just one effect. That is part of a project that I'm helping out with, coming out, I think, through Murphy's, but don't quote me on that. It is a David Jonathan effect. I'm not going to spoil what it is, but that's just a small part of it. That's a routine that I helped work on with a couple of my touches, and I went and got a bunch of live performances for that, and it's really, really neat. You know, there's a lot of stuff that this trick can do, and I think it's coming out in November at some point, but you know, don't take my poor studio performance. But you'll see some of the actual live performances without the phone freezing and that, you know, delayed awkward moment there. But it is pretty neat, right? And you get, you know, that kicker ending at the end, and I kind of added some of my touches, as I do with most routines. And, you know, I actually added some touches to that are going to be featured on the project because they're just so good. You can't not be on the project, right? I see the originals of things and I modify them and make them better. That's one of the things I do. So pretty neat. Okay, let me see. So do the 2 fingers in the front. I do the 2 fingers in the front with the middle and the middle finger on the corner, but eventually, do you recommend building the strength, adding more, a full deck? I don't think you should really worry about adding more than a full deck. I think it's a little bit overkill, to be honest. I mean, maybe it'll work for some people, but for me, no, I don't. I wouldn't practice with more than a full deck, right? What I like to do to practice, it kind of gives you a 2-for-1, is, you know, take out your 4 of a kind, whatever you want it to be, and I'll take those and I'll place them in 4 different spots, and then you can work on a multiple shift as well. You know, shift to the bottom, and then you can, you know, deal out your poker game. And I like to film this to hit a hanger there, and that way you can see like how they look in terms of the sound and all that. So, you know, obviously practice and deal yourself the 4 kings, right? So that's a drill that I always used to do. And in terms of the shift, I've taught a few multiple shifts on the channel. That one was the sort of multi-card straddle pass, right, which I do a lot, but that one's pretty challenging. So what else you could do is, what else could you do? I guess you could do like this. Yeah, you could do that shift, right? So I forget the name of that. If someone remembers, please remind me. So either you do this, you leave the cards out a bit, you tilt the top stock forward, so now you're in this position, and then you're just going to grab all that and strip everything out, and those fall to the bottom, and you strip off a few more, and you've controlled them to the bottom. Or you can push these through a little bit, right? Push them through. And so you have a little break at the back, and then you basically grip them like this. And if you want them on the bottom, you just strip those out as you're cutting to the table. And you can do one of the multiple shifts. But I always like to work on multiple shifts with bottom dealing because they tend to go pretty hand in hand. So I would work on that. And I think the key would be to, so that's what that shift looks like, by the way, at a bit of speed. So I think the key, and I have taught that on the channel under card controls. If you go check out the card control playlist and look for multi-card shifts. So the key is really with bottom dealing, and when you're practicing, you know, get to a point where it's pretty easy to get away with a bottom deal and a second deal in performance. It's not something that a lot of people, you know, think that, oh, he's dealing the second card, right? Even though I am here, especially, you know, when you get better, obviously it doesn't look like it, but so you can try to find an effect that uses one bottom deal, right? Just find an effect. So like A can is great. So A can, if you're practicing the second deal, you have a card selected, 9 of spades, we have it controlled to the top, right? And now you have them name a number, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10th card, and you just hit second deals until you get to their card. So that's how you, you know, I always tell people to practice the second deal. Bottom deal, same type of thing. You take the card, 9 of spades, they select it, you put it to the bottom this time. And now you just, you can do fair deals, right? So you go, well, there's actually 2 ways to do this. This is the simple way, and then I'll show you a better way. But you deal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You say, this is the 10th card. We'll take that here. And you said 9 of spades, and you hit a bottom deal on the last one. But what's actually more deceptive is if you take the card, control it to the top instead of the bottom, give them the deck, let them deal. Have them deal into your hand, though. Okay, so you want them to deal into your left hand. So they say 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. The card of interest is now on the bottom, and you can hit a bottom deal from this small packet now. So you say, this is your card here, this 9 of spades, I'll take that, set that down, boom, 9 of spades, right? So those are a couple of different ways to practice, and I always like to practice deals. I think A-Can's a good one to practice deals with. Do you have you seen the Shadow Spring? It's amazing, Sleight posted on Illusionist. No, I have not. Do you have a version of oil and water? I do. Well, let's do it. I haven't done it in a while. I used to do oil and water a lot because I think people actually really like oil and water, laymen for whatever reason. So let's see if I can remember this first of all. So we got our 3 oil and our 3 water cards, and I have taught this on the channel as well. It's one of my most popular videos, I believe. So 1, 2, 3 water cards, and 1, 2, 3 oil cards. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll take the water cards, I think, over here, and the oil cards over here. So what we'll do is we'll go, no, fuck, hold on. I can't remember the script. That's the problem when you don't perform for a while. Yeah, so it's, boom, take the oil card. Okay, no, I had that backwards. That's why it didn't work. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3 water cards, and 1, 2, 3 oil cards. I'll take the oil cards, we'll set them over here. Then we'll go oil, water, oil, water, oil, and water. Mix them up just like that. Snap your fingers, and they get fixed, right? So now we can do that again. All right, we got 1, 2, 3 water cards and 1, 2, 3 oil cards. This time I'll take the 3 oil cards and I'll set them down just like this, okay? We'll take water card number 1, we'll set it here. Water card number 2, set it here. Water card number 3, set it here. Push them all in, snap the fingers, and just like that, they get fixed. Now, this time I want to make it as fair as possible. So I'll take oil, water, oil, water, oil, and water. And I don't want you to think there's any trickery here. I'm going to show you these cards are truly interlaced, right? And they fully separate. So that's the oil and water that I used to do a lot. And then sometimes I would finish this with Danny Ortiz in the hands spectator oil and water, so you can have them kind of follow along. It's really neat. You start with a mixed up deck like this. They start with, you know, 8 cards. You do it with 2 more. So they would start with 8 cards mixed up. You would start with 8 cards mixed up like this. and you do the exact same thing, allegedly. Like you guys, you deal a few to the table, you cut two to the, whatever it is, you do all this mixing and stuff, but it just further mixes the cards. By the end of it, you turn over yours and they're still mixed, they're still mixed, perfect oil and water, and then they turn over theirs and they've actually completely separated. So it's called like in the hand, spectator, oil and water or something. I really like that idea of having the spectator deal into your hand, especially since it leaves a small packet. Yeah, no, I do that all the time. That's actually similar-ish to my Soe can, sleight of hand, any card at any number, which is also one of my most popular videos on the channel. And that's a great little trick where essentially Soe can is you have them, I haven't done it in a while either, you have them shuffle, okay? And, oh, I haven't live streamed in so long, I forgot all my fancy animations. Anyway, so you have them, in Soe can, they would shuffle the deck. They would name a card, I believe, and then you say, if you tried to guess at this moment where your card was in the deck, it would be pretty difficult to do. So I'm going to give you a little hint. So let's say they said Jack of Hearts, right? You go through and you say, look, Jack of Hearts is about there, okay? But that's all I'm going to tell you. I'm going to leave it there. That's all I'm going to tell you, okay? And that's your hint, right? And then you cop off the card, because I called it. You cop off the card and you say, you know what? It wouldn't be as impressive. You know what? Shuffle those again. So they'll do some shuffling. And you say, while you're shuffling, I want you to think of a number. They think of a number. You take the deck back and set your hand on it. You say, actually, you know what? I don't even want to touch these. You take the deck. Now they take the deck. Card is on top. All right, so it's basically spectator name. They name a card. Yeah, they name a card. They name a number. It's truly named card, truly named number. Spectator shuffles. They deal, and you're basically accomplishing that with a palm and then a sneaky shift at the end. So the card's now on top. They don't even have to tell you the number, but whatever number they think of, they'll deal down to into your left hand. So let's say they deal this number of cards. And instead of doing the bottom deal at this point, I like to do this shift instead. So it'll kind of be a mess, right? They'll have dealt all the cards into your hand and you go like this. So you say, look, how many cards was it that you dealt in my hand? And they'll say, 20 or whatever. And you say, all right, the 20th card, take a look. And they flip it over and it's the Jack. So it's a little shift, it's beautiful. The Jack's on the bottom, and again, you can learn this any card, any number on my channel. The deck will be a little bit of a mess, so you need to square it up. So as you come over to square, you're going to push the Jack into a pinky clip. Now, this will be hidden, and this comes forward with the Jack stolen out, and you put your hand on top like this, okay? So you're shifting it from top to bottom, but it happens really quick. So it comes here, boom. Yeah, this camera angle's horrible for this because it's kind of on the worst angle. So actually, I'll show you from here and then I'll show you the exposed. So deck's a mess, right? So I come over, I square, and I say, all right. Yeah, I flashed again. This camera angle's just so like, I have to turn so far to get it to work. So like this, boom, boom, and then you dribble, and that's when you deposit the card back on top. So from the exposed view, card's on the bottom, you have a mess, and you say, right, so how many cards was it that you dealt in this packet here? And that's how the shift happens. And it's really well justified and covered. Cards at the bottom, dribble, push it over, and then I'm just stealing that one card, right? So it steals, I move my hand and quickly put it on top. They only see this, and I say, how many cards did you dribble here? Not dribble. How many cards did you deal here? So let's do that again. Boom, boom. How many cards did you deal here? I wasn't counting. And you're just letting go. It's covered in the dribble though, the shift moment, right? The card just falls on top. It's a beautiful little idea. And now you can invite them to turn over the card. So that is, probably the most practical ACAN. Where can I learn that shift from top to bottom? So if you go to the channel and you either search for SOHACAN, S-O-H-A-CAN, or if you sort the videos by most popular, it'll be one of like the top 5. And that's where I teach this ACAN and a bunch of subtleties, and I talk about that shift as well. Because again, if you have a better camera angle than this, it's super deceptive, right? So if the 6 of spades is on the bottom, they deal the packet, you say, look, now how many, sorry, let's do it again. So if it's a mix, you say, so how many cards was it that you dealt here again? I wasn't counting. And the 6 goes on top. So really deceptive shift, right? Really, really great. Okay, anyone else have any other card stuff they would like me to get to? Please let me know if there's anything you would like me to cover, help anyone out with. Let me make sure I think I've covered pretty much everything. And everything I've covered in this video, or in the live so far, I think I've taught at some point on the channel. So whether it's the oil and water, or the shift, the sleight of hand, the bottom deal. I don't know also if you've seen my bottom deal tips video, but that'll probably, it does cover a lot of the stuff we've talked about, so hopefully that'll help out. Okay, while we wait, what is another trick that I like to do? Because we were talking about openers earlier. No problem, man. Yeah, happy to help, happy to help. So, I haven't done that in a long time. I always like doing, Reswindled is just so fun to perform, and it's a good one to perform because I can do it on live without anyone here. I did, actually, I wanted to talk about that, what's it called? Out of This World. I posted an Out of This World recently, and so I would highly recommend you guys check that out. It's one of my more recent tutorials, but it's really, really good because Out of This World, especially the way that I do it, like I do Out of This World from the Spectator Shuffle deck. Now I know it's tricky if you can't call an entire deck of cards. It's pretty tough, but that's the way I've always done it. Okay, I'm gonna do one more trick. Get some time for people to ask any last questions that they might have, and then I'll wrap this live up. So any last questions, let me know. It's good live, great live, so let me know if you guys have any other questions. If you'd like any more help with any of this stuff, honestly, private lessons are the way to go. Really get that one-on-one help. So, all right, so for this we need the jacks. If you guys have not seen Reswindled, it's an effect that I love to perform. So we need the jacks for this. So where are the other jacks? Jack, jack. Okay, so we got the jacks, okay. So at this point, the spectator could, take a look, make sure everything's regular, normal about these jacks, all that stuff. So here's what we'll do. For this, we're going to use the Jack of Hearts, Jack of Spades, Jack of Diamonds, and the Jack of Clubs. Now, if I was a card cheat, there's a lot of things that I could do with these 4 jacks. I might take them and, I don't know, put them on top of the deck, and then do some kind of fake deals, right? Some bottom deals, some second deals like we talked about. But for now, I'm going to take them, and we're going to leave them right about over here, okay? Now, if I was really a card cheat, well, I wouldn't have those jacks to start, right? I'd be given some kind of low cards probably, and then I'd have to find a way to switch those in for the jacks, right? So let's take these 4 here, okay? So for this, we're going to use these 1, 2, 3, and 4 cards, okay? So watch. All I do is I take that first card, I wave it over top of the jacks, and that's the move, and we get the first jack. Okay, the next one, now you know what to look for. Just like that, and we get the next jack. The next one, it happens almost instantly. I just can wave that card, and you can see the moment that it changes. And finally, we get the last jack. Now, all 4 jacks are here, but you're probably wondering, well, if I were to get caught, right, someone were to call me out, what do? Obviously, if I get caught as a cheat, it's very bad. So I need a way to instantly be able to switch these cards back into those 4 black number cards. Now you're probably wondering what's going on over here, and I can assure you that I still only have 1, 2, 3, and 4 cards. And of course, they are the 1, 2, 3, and 4 jacks. Now you might be asking yourself, well, if you're such a good card cheat, why would you cheat with the 4 jacks when you could cheat with the 4 aces? So that's Reswindled. That is one of those tricks. I don't do a lot of tricks that, don't involve the audience. That's just like a piece of magic to watch. Reswindled is pretty much the only one that I do. I just really like it. Gives me a chance to work on sleights and, just perform and you know, everyone just watches, right? Which I always quite like. Okay, so any last things anyone would like me to cover? I think we're just about ready to wrap up, unless anyone has any last questions. I'll give another couple of minutes here, and then we'll call it. Great live. What do we talk about? Bottom deal, ACAN, all kinds of stuff. Lots of great stuff. Handling aces so freely at the end equals mind blown. Yeah, David. I mean, honestly, I just really love the sequence of that. Allows you to, you know, hand out those aces at the end. Everything's cleaned up. Really great. I mean, you need a table, but hey, it's one effect that I will allow the table. I don't mind if there's the table. David, we have a lesson tomorrow morning, so I will see you there. I will, looking forward to it. David is a great magician, out of California. We've been working together for quite a while, come a very long way. Very impressed by a lot of the stuff David's been able to accomplish. Ooh, some good applications of the DPS. Okay, well, I mean, the obvious application of the DPS being, you know, card to pocket. Honestly though, I don't use it. Like, I really like doing, David, actually, the card to pocket that, it's similar. That's the one that we had worked on in the lesson. I like doing that one a lot, where you kind of combine sleight of hand and no sleight of hand. So I kind of start with the DPS and then move on from there. But the DPS, to me, it's a great move, and it's very deceptive, but it's one of those things that once you learn it and get pretty good at it, you probably just won't use it a lot. And honestly, maybe the people who really love card to pocket use it a lot if, you know, they get decent at it. But I mean, I'm pretty good at it, and I just don't do a lot of card to pocket, so I don't use a lot of DPS, right? I'd say other than card to pocket, and no problem, David, happy to help, man. And, you know, besides card to pocket, the thing is, like, the next best use to me is have a card signed, selected, returned to the deck, and let the spectator shuffle. And if you want to have it palmed off, and you want it on the bottom when you come back. Because ultimately, like, you want to just make things more efficient. So if you have an effect where you want the spectator to shuffle, and you've determined that a palm is the best way to allow them to shuffle while still having control of their card, you know, for me, I'd probably use the auto index. I use that a lot. I just let them shuffle their card, and then I just secretly find it, you know, almost instantly. But, you know, sorry, I had a moment. I was thinking about something else. If you want the card on the top, well, then it's all about being efficient. So why don't you control it to the top, and then you should probably just top palm it and let them shuffle it. So now when you get the deck back, you're instantly ready to go into whatever you need to do. Whereas if you need it on the bottom, well, then the DPS kind of makes sense as a control. You can hand out the deck instantly to be shuffled, and now when you get the deck back, well, the card can be put straight on the bottom. You know, so that's pretty much the uses that I think are good for the DPS. I have a couple of variations of the DPS. Like, I have this one-handed one. Let's see if I can do it. That I've been playing with for a while. I mean, obviously it's not really deceptive or anything, but it's like, you know, there's something there. I'll often use it for this Tenkai Palm load, though. That's always a good one to use it for. It's not the best from that angle, but if you kind of turn, yeah, again, this camera's set up at the worst angle for it, but more like that, it's a little bit better. And you can use sort of a one-handed DPS into Tenkai Palm. And so the mechanics there are kind of cool. I'll just show you guys. I won't really explain it. Right? So you're taking the card, pushing it through with the index to the thumb, pinky and ring finger pinch it, and then you flick it onto the deck and use your pinky to leverage it back on top. And then if you want to stop halfway, once you get to this point, it goes straight up into a Tenkai Palm. The other one I have that I think is a lot more practical is what I call the DPS cover control. So I'll take the 6 of clubs. Oh, no, sorry, I had the wrong angles on that. I was doing the regular DPS angles. So I'll take the 3 of spades. And it goes to the top. Not one I've worked on in a while, but I do plan on teaching this in a video at some point. There we go. That one looked better. And it comes to the top. All right, DPS cover control. Yeah, that's a move that I kind of just, you know, came up with a long time ago. The Tenkai load thing. I'm doing a little mini series on shorts. I'm doing like 100 ways to cut to a card. So if you go to my shorts, you know, shorts part of my channel, you'll see that now where I'll show you the exposed view first and then how it looks. And it's just 100 ways to just cut to a card. So, you know, whether you're using in jogs, out jogs, or cool moves. And I've actually already used that and the way I cut to the card. So Jack of Hearts, I show it going into the middle and then you cut like that, right? And so, I mean, that was the exposed view I was showing you guys there, but the card goes straight into the palm and then you cut it and you drop it on this back packet as you make the cut. So it looks like, you know, if you did that without exposed, which you should go watch the short because on live I'm probably, you know, not going to be able to do it very well, but if you do it without exposing it, it kind of looks sort of like that. That was still, you know, a lot of flashes there, but the cover control though I think is good. Like I used to do DPS to top just like that, you know. So you take it, boom. But I like the cover control a lot better. So you come down and now you can come really slow in this moment. I did flash that though. Let me try again, no flash. Let's see if I can get this clean. Oh, almost had it, hold on. It's a tricky move. No, too fast. It's all about the angles when you come down into view on this one. That was better. Oh no, I missed it though. Yeah, it's not a control that I use or work on a lot. It's just kind of one of those ideas, you know, that maybe one day I'll make. Okay, no, I need to be more this way. That's why it's a stupid camera angle that's messing me up because it's off to the side. It's not straight on, and I'm like, why am I flashing so much? But so I need to be more like this. So you take the 2 of hearts. Still, okay, let me try one more, and then we'll wrap up this live. Jack of hearts. There we go. That was a pretty good one. And you can see Jack of hearts is on the top. Lose it into the middle. Back on top, right? Yeah, you're right. The angles for the DPS, I wouldn't do that, the one-handed load, because the one-handed thing, you're so exposed. I have had some takes where it's pretty invisible. Like if I go really slow, like that one, you can see like it was kind of hidden. But it is one that I haven't really practiced the angles much. But I know you have to tilt so far back and have this hand close, and you can get pretty close to invisible, right? But it just takes a lot of practice, right? Getting those angles down. And so when I'm on camera, I can just do it a bunch of times till I get the right take, which if you look at the shorts video, it's pretty good take. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. So I like that. Yeah, I like the DPS though. I like a lot of variations of it. I mean, it's kind of also the, right, like I take the 4 clubs, like I mean, this is a DPS variation, right? The straddle pass. Basically DPS variation or multi-card, you know, from different position DPS. I usually do a straddle pass, but you could also do a DPS, right, with 2 cards, 3 cards, 4 of a kind, whatever you want. Like here's 5. I don't know if I've never tried. I usually max it out at 4, but let's see if I can. A little bit of a flash there, but I mean, you can do it, right? All these things are doable. It's just like, are we just showing off or are we actually going to use these things, right? I prefer, though, if I'm doing multi-cards, I'll just take it and straddle past them to the bottom because it's actually deceptive. Like that I actually do in performance quite a bit. You know, control multiple cards to the bottom and then do whatever, you know, routine I want to do with them. Come on. There we go. But yeah, okay. Let me jump back up now. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that live. Probably going to wrap it up here. If there's any last questions, you can get those in quickly. But yeah, if you guys would like to check out any private lessons, you can. The link in the description. I was talking about this more at the beginning. My new lecture, Mental Minimalism, is ready now to, I've been done it to a couple of clubs all around. So if you guys are part of a magic club and you'd like to have me come lecture, please get in touch. But it was very, very great lecture, very popular. So if you guys are interested in some great stuff, Mental Minimalism lecture. Private lessons, if you want some help one-on-one, stay tuned. We'll be doing a group lesson soon if you want to get in on one of the group lessons. Also stay tuned for the new David Jonathan release that I'm helping out with in November. Pretty cool. Showed you guys a quick little performance of it here. And yeah, if you'd like to check out the Mentalism membership, also really, really great. Can you do the best ACAN you can do? I have shown it on the channel. There's 2 trailers for it, and it is available right now to learn either through my website. You can go pick up the project. It's called J30 ACAN, or you can check out the tutorial. It's still on my membership at the moment, which is a great place to learn it. If you want, it might be coming down from the membership soon, and the only place to get it will be on the website. So check out the membership while you can. There's a lot of other great mentalism content on there. If you guys, if you're a mentalist, if you're a real mentalist, you want to learn some fundamentals and some key stuff. So thank you guys so much for joining. I really appreciate it. Stay tuned. New video tomorrow, 11 a.m. Mentalism 101, episode 12. And then lots more to come. Lots more street magic, lots more tutorials. So I really appreciate all the support, guys. Thank you so much. Another great live stream. Hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. And I'll catch you guys next time.